Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, Mr. Rajesh Lachman, Ms. Meena Motilal, Mr. Sipiwe Mchunu, Mr. Piyush Khandelwal. Namaskar and Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to episode 3 of Manas Marg to celebrate Diwali month. Today we have a very special guest in our midst, and that is Miss Meena Motilal, who will be touching on the topic of love or prem from the Ramcharitmanas. Today I would like to welcome Mr. Rajesh Lachman to give a short introduction on today's program. Welcome, Mr. Rajesh Lachman of the Hindi Siksha Sangh of South Africa.
Namaste. Once again, it's great to be among such august company. On behalf of the Hindi Siksha Sangh, I want to say a huge thank you to Dr. Yogi and his team at the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Indian Consular offices for this wonderful joint venture. We enjoy really a warm relationship, and thank you so much for your kindness for including us in your programs. When one speaks about love, it is sometimes often, if you look at the nature of love, is perhaps one of the most contested perspectives of life, because there's secular love and love, maternal love, and a whole range of love, kinds of love. But today we're going to focus on love and spirituality and how together they make up our sense of civilization. Now, when you're going to listen to our esteemed speaker early on, we're very deeply grateful to Meena Motilal ji for kindly agreeing to be the keynote speaker for this session. We're going to look at how the Ramayana, and it's in particular the Ramcharitmanas, espouses love on various levels, and how these various levels of love are in fact so easy to cultivate within our own day-to-day living. So I'm hoping that when we finish listening to this here, first of all, it'll be a reason for us to do a bit of introspection, asking ourselves who or what is our own perspective of love. How do we then use that perspective to spread love in the world? Because I think it's one of our moral responsibilities. And finally is about how we could use that love to transcend our own sense of spirituality, so that we focus on what is the one truth. And as we all know, all the rishis and sages say the one truth is actually the realization of God. And we are hoping that after this exposition on love in the Ramcharitmanas, it'll help us to perhaps climb some steps towards that direction. Once again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the wonderful relationship we have and the wonderful partnership we share in many programs. And thank you for having me. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rajesh Lachman and Radio Hindwani, for always assisting us and making all cultural programs possible. I would introduce our very beautiful and talented guest speaker for today's session of episode 3 of Manas Marg, with the topic being Prem or Love. We welcome Miss Meena Motilal. Miss Meena Motilal is deeply dedicated and devoted to promoting the teachings of the ancient Vedic scriptures to evolve human consciousness, improve vitality, bring greater clarity of mind, empower creative expression, and invoke the soul's radiant joy. Meena ji is a teacher by profession and holds a BA degree, teacher's diploma, education management, BA honors, BA masters, recites the Ramayana in a dynamic way, and has produced CDs in episodes to help people learn to recite the Ramayana at their own leisure. Her popular production has been the complete Sundar Kant. Meena ji has produced many meditation CDs and helps you relax and calm the mind. She conducts workshops on various aspects of personal development, wisdom of the chakras, the empowered woman, building self-esteem in children, parenting skills, the art of forgiveness, mantra meditation, etc. Meena ji is greatly blessed by the many masters from East and the West. Today we welcome Miss Meena Motilal for her recitation on Ramcharitmanas. Welcome, Meena ji.
नमस्ते। और मुझे यही कहना चाहती हूँ कि पहले धन्यवाद कहूंगी डॉक्टर योगी जी को और उनका दल और हिंदी शिक्षा संघ, खासकर मिस्टर राजेश लक्ष्मण को, जो मुझे ये मौका मिला है आपके साथ कुछ चर्चा करने के लिए, और खासकर ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण विषय जो है प्रेम. Yes, when we look at the word love itself, firstly it brings a lot of joy in the heart. So चलिए आज हम मुस्कुराहट के साथ इस कार्यक्रम को शुरू करते हैं. So just put in or put on your lips the beautiful word love and smile at it. And as we do that, we delve and dive into the Ramcharitmanas of Shri Tulsidas ji. Yes, we will start up with invocation, a Gayatri, and henceforth we will journey through some characters that displayed the highest form of love that we could emulate in our life. Om Dashrataye vidmahe Sita Vallabhaya dhimahi Tanno Rama prachodayat. Om. Let us meditate on the son of Dashrath, consort of Sita. Give me the higher intellect and let Lord Ram illuminate my mind. With that pure intention, that today's presentation would be highly guided by the all-powerful, mighty Maryada Purushottam, Shri Ram. Light is important element because of the power it has over darkness. We've just celebrated Deepavali, and at that point there was this big emphasis on the power of light over darkness. For me, the Ramcharitmanas demonstrates that very clearly, that yes, remove the darkness. This Gayatri mantra that I've just recited is about bringing light into the mind and dispelling the darkness of ignorance from within us and around us. May Lord Ram give us that clarity, thought, and power to make right judgments in our life. A beautiful start of this presentation would be by Tulsidas Chopai. Jab jab hoi dharam ki hani, बाढ़ही असुर अधम अभिमानी, करही अनीति जाई नहीं बरनी, सिद्धि विप्रधेनु सुर धरनी, तब तब प्रभु धरी विविध शरीरा, हरहु कृपा निधि सज्जन पीरा. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. इसका अर्थ है, जो तुलसीदास जी ने हमें समझाते हैं, कि इस धरती पर जब जब धर्म का ह्रास होता है और अभिमानी राक्षस बढ़ जाते हैं और वो ऐसा अनंत करते हैं कि जिसका वर्णन नहीं किया जा सकता, तथा ब्रह्म, गौ, देवता और पृथ्वी कष्ट पाते हैं, तब तब वे कृपा निधान प्रभु भांति भांति के दिव्य शरीर धारण करके सज्जनों की पीड़ा हमेशा हरते हैं. Tulsidas ji explains that the Lord takes on a human form for his devotees. He plays many roles as the embodiment of profound love and compassion. Ram inspires intense devotion in his devotees. Tulsidas ji in the Ramcharitmanas depicts Ram playing various roles. He is the ideal son, the ideal brother, the best friend, the disciple, the husband, a guide and mentor to many. In every role, Ram upholds the highest principles of dharma and morality, most important, intensified with love and compassion. He also undergoes the same ups and downs that human beings experience and exhibit, the emotions of pain and joy that we feel. Emotions are ornaments of life, but we need to choose the emotions that bring out our higher side, not our lower, darker side. In the Ramcharitmanas, various characters portray different forms of love. हिंदी में हम ये शब्द लव को बहुत सारे शब्द से जानते हैं, स्नेह, प्यार, इश्क, मोहब्बत, और हर एक शब्द जैसे हम कहते हैं उसमें उस पर एक असर पड़ता है. There is a vibration with each word you use, and that vibration is dependent on the intention of the word. So with that, we go on to expanding Sita and Ram. Their love is unconditional. It is deep, enduring, selfless. Sita reveals her greatness whenever she was placed in the most difficult circumstances. She brought about this kind of understanding of how to handle it. The most important episode that touches me in portraying her greatness was when Ram was exiled to the forest. Certainly, Sita didn't wish to go, Sita didn't have to go. Neither did Ram in any way want Sita to be there. But Sita depicted her unconditional love to Sri Ram by making a stand. And this is what is important. Sita stood up for what she believed in. And that intention was because she loved Sri Ram in all conditions, whether Ram was in the palace or whether Ram was exiled for 14 years in the harsh conditions of the forest. Sita displayed the depth of her unconditional love by standing up for what she believed in. And what she believed in was to perform her duty as a wife to her husband, and her belief system of being guided by her unconditional love allowed her that opportunity. Although Sri Ram rejected her coming to the forest or being part of this whole exile episode that he had to undergo as man, but what we learn here is if you have deep conviction, commitment, dedication, drive to the depth of the unconditional love you display in your life, you can achieve anything. And today's women, in today's day, where we find that women are feeling not supported by their spouses, and there's so much of unnecessary disrespect, abuse that's going on in our community, we can take an idea from Sita's life that you have to be so firmly in your belief of what you want to bring into a relationship and stand by that very firmly to display your unconditional love. Unconditional love means without any condition. There was no conditions attached. And yet we see that she was a victor in her own right. So simply to all of us, myself included, that we need to display this from the depths of our being. When we look at unconditional love, our attention is drawn to the great colossal of devotion, Sri Hanumanji. And I'd like to honor Sri Hanumanji with a verse. Anjani Sutai Vidmahe Vayuputraya Dhimahi Tanno Hanuman Prachodayat. I pay my obeisances to the son of Anjani, who is the ultimate divinity. I contemplate on the son of Vayu, the wind god. I pray with all my faculties, body, mind, and spirit, to serve Hanuman, to awaken my intellect and grant me liberation. My salutations and prostrations to the superpower and the jewel of the Ramcharitmanas, who holds the VIP position in the heart of Sri Ram. Hanuman, the 11th Rudra manifestation of Lord Shiva, has his glorious character and healing powers expounded with great depth in the Ramayana. Pavanaputra, Sri Hanumanji, is renowned for his courage, power, success, and vigor to heal situations and bring richness, peace to our lives. Sri Hanumanji is the dignitary and the VIP amongst the devotees of the Lord, the noble son of Vayu and Anjana, the very embodiment of wisdom and supreme devotional service, to showcase in his various places in the Ramayana, which earns him the VIP status in the eyes of Sri Ram. The rhythmical verses of the Hanuman Chalisa bestows the great physical, mental, and spiritual powers of Hanumanji upon those that desire to heal holistically. तो ये मुस्कान आप फिर डालिए. आज हम प्रेम के बारे में बातचीत कर रही है. तो अगर हम राम शब्द सुनते हैं तो राम का अर्थ है that supreme radiant light. Throughout this presentation, I'd like to see the radiance. I will then feel that my mission here today is complete. Pavanputra, enormously strong, has magical powers of the Siddhis and is a skilled healer, expecting no fruits in return, a selfless worker. From the depths of his being, crossed the mighty ocean easily, facing the challenges and safely reaching Lanka to heal the ravaged and burning heart of Mother Sita, which is achieved easily using the most powerful and transformational healing pill, Ram Nam. Hanuman used Ram, and Ram Nam has the healing power to overcome all challenges. And this is the leaf we take away from Hanuman. This is the recipe that when we adopt the name of Ram on our lips with firm conviction, faith, trust, then the result would be the success that Hanumanji has left behind as a legacy to follow. I think I'm wrong. Hanumanji आज भी इस दुनिया में चिरंजीवी है. He is very present here today. So he's left a recipe to follow. और वो है राम नाम. राम नाम से हम उस भव सागर को पार ही कर सकते हैं. So we have the key to open the heart to this prem, sneh, love, unconditional love, बिना शर्त की प्यार. Hanumanji was a colossal of devotion. अगर हम अपने जीवन में if we want to understand the word bhakti, devotion, तो हमें हनुमान जी के जीवन में झांकना है. Then we need to look at and study every movement of Hanuman ji and how he was recognized by the great, almighty, powerful Ramji. Mother Sita was completely devastated, found Hanuman to be a lifesaver in the most distressed moments of her life. Her healing and soothing words and the message of hope from Sri Ram served as a cooling balm to the burning and ravaged heart of Mother Sita. Indeed, she tells Hanumanji, "Oh Hanuman, dear friend, I was drowning in an ocean of separation from Sri Ram, and you came like a boat to save me." Now, don't we want that boat in our lives like right now? So Hanumanji infused confidence and brought abundant cheer to the noble and chaste Sita. Once again, what was the recipe of Hanumanji? राम नाम, क्योंकि ये राम नाम ही है जो उसमें इतने सारी शक्ति और भक्ति भर दिया कि उन्होंने ये ऊर्जा सब जगह फैला सके. That power, that transformation can only come from the vibrations you carry. And therefore, the simplest and the easiest pill to swallow in the age of Kali, in this present moment, is simply bhakti और शक्ति से, खासकर विश्वास से, राम नाम कहिए. Bring that radiant love in your heart. And when that radiant love is deeply embedded with dedication and devotion, it will spread and it will create the effect that Hanumanji created in the ravaged heart of Mother Sita. Symbolically speaking, Sita is the representative of Jeev Atma, like all of us, suffering from the torments of the mind due to separation from the Paramatma. The great Pavan Putra has the honorable task of uniting Jivatma, Sita, to Paramatma, Shri Ram. किस तरह? राम नाम की ज्योत से, और इस ज्योत को हमेशा जलाते रहो. Humanity should learn a lesson that the moment we pray to the trap of delusion, pain, and suffering, we find that the consequences of all this delusion is only pain and hopelessness, fear and despair. Ultimately, Mother Sita rewarded Hanumanji with the supreme blessing that a Mahatma like Hanumanji deserves, and that is supreme devotion to the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. He fell on the feet of Mother Sita with joined palms and with total ecstasy. Bar bar nayi pad sisa, bola bachan jori kar kisa. Ab krit kritye banayu me mata, ashish tava amoga vikyata. I have accomplished all that I had to accomplish, my mother, for it is universally known that your blessings never fail. And these verses are from the Sundarkand. On his return from Lanka, Hanumanji truly is the VIP in the eyes of Sri Ram. The Lord felt overwhelmed with extreme love and gratitude for Hanuman, and he gave the expression to his feelings as well. And this is what Sri Ramji said to Hanuman. No one endeavored with a body, whether a god, a human being, or a sage, has put me under such obligation. Hanuman, as you have done, even my mind shrinks from facing you. How can I then repay your obligation? And this is what the Almighty's gratitude was for Hanumanji's bhakti, for his seva. Listen, my son, I have thought over the question and I have concluded that the debt which I owe you cannot be repaid. Now imagine if we was this outstanding devotees of Sri Ram and if he gave us that blessings, तो हमारा जीवन सफल ही हो गया क्योंकि उन्होंने हमें मुक्ति प्रदान किया. On hearing his praise from Sri Ram, he felt overwhelmed and fell to the Lord's feet with tears in his eyes, giving all credit of achievements to his master. This depicts the ideal sevak with the intention of pure humility and devotion that stands as a hallmark of his character. We are supremely blessed to understand from the glories and character of Hanumanji of how to be a beneficiary, how to take this opportunity of being a karma yogi, a bhakti yogi, and a gyan yogi, and be blessed with the supreme prem that is bhakti. We as human beings should imbibe from Hanumanji the character and the rare quality of seva together, powered, I would say, with Ram Naam. तो चलिए हम कुछ देर के लिए मनन करते हैं. आप सब सुनते हैं हमारी आवाज इतने देर से. अब हम राम से मिलेंगे. So taking deep and full breaths, bringing Pavan Putra in our being, in our hearts, trying to sit up straight as much as possible. And as we do that, let us connect with the divine Sri Ram, with just the chant of Ram in our minds and Ram in our hearts. Ra means light. Ma means within. And as we're sitting comfortably with our spine erect, your head, neck, and chest aligned, focus your breath as if it is Hanumanji that is going in and out with the thought of Ram. As you chant Ram, with that smile on your face, as if Ram is before you, within you, around you, guiding you as the light that is inside of you, the destroyer of demons and the ocean of beauty. I pay my deepest respects and obeisances to the all-powerful, the almighty Sri Ram. Taking another deep and full breath, recognize what are some of our obstacles on the path of bhakti, on the path of spiritual development and upliftment. What are some of our own obstacles that does not allow us to get the VIP status in the heart of Sri Ram? And with today's session, let us breathe all that out, making a new resolution of burning the light of Sri Ram on our lips, in our hearts, in every sense of our life, and creating the bridge, the rope of hope to Sri Ram's heart. Taking full and deep breaths as you recognize your obstacles and impurities. Check within yourself, what is it that you are prepared to let go to bring the radiance in you? With the power of the breath, you can begin to release the stress, the anxiety, the pain, the sufferings that we have been carrying, not only in this life, but many lifetimes. It's time to light the lamp of true love It's time to clear the darkness. And it's only we, within our being, can make that choice. As Ramji has given us that grand opportunity and the grand platform to step on and make a difference. So as we do that today, on this very special occasion of remembering the Jyot of Deepavali, let us never forget that we have this grand and wonderful opportunity of living life to the fullest if we make that wonderful choice. Yes, and today we'll affirm, "Oh, infinite Sri Ram, I praise you and I am grateful for this opportunity to help myself and humanity, creating the best vibration of light and love." In today's materialistic world that we live in, it's challenging, it's difficult. At every point, our mind steps into a zone of anxiety, stress, and turmoil. However, we have the grand opportunity of connecting with our breath, mindfully, very alertly, and with great awareness that can bring us back on the path of truth and light. So whenever the mind tends to steep down to the space of pain, anxiety, and stress, you have the tool of bringing yourself back on board and connecting with the colossal of devotion within your heart. You can teach this to our children. And yes, as parents, as teachers, as caregivers, it is our duty to instill in our children, our future generation, of how to harness the power of hope, joy, love, and spread that around. As we are seated together in this collective consciousness and trying to make a difference, we can make a choice. When we look at the character of Bharat, Bharat displays this wonderful and absolute quality of unconditional love. Bina shart wale prem. Bharat, who was awarded the honor of ruling the mighty kingdom of Ayodhya, Bharat could have just accepted the throne and the absolute power and luxury that came with it. But this sense of right and wrong would not permit him to do what was most important. Instead, upon learning that his mother Kaikeyi had unjustly managed to get Ram banished from Ayodhya, he immediately went into the forest to look for Ram and offer him his rightful position as the ruler of Ayodhya. So great was his devotion to his brother, and so strong was his desire to be fair and just, that when Ram refused to return to Ayodhya before completing his 14 years, Bharat placed Ram's footwear on the throne and ruled Ayodhya in the name of Ram, as Ram's messenger, until he returned to regain his rightful position. This teaches us that even if something is extremely desirable, one should only accept it if it is attained in a just manner, without hurting or affecting anyone else. Lakshman also displays that brotherhood, willfully leaves his young bride Urmila and chooses to serve Sri Ram unconditionally. There's a beautiful verse, and Mr. Lakshman has reminded me of the time, so I have to conclude. There's a very beautiful verse that I'd like to leave you with, and that helps us to understand the power of choice and the power of good company. And yes, to evolve human consciousness, we can choose to be with the best of the best. जड़ चेतन गुण दोषमय विश्व की न करतार संत हंस गुण गाही पै परिहरि बारी बिकार. And this beautiful verse tells us that be like the hunts, the swan. And what does the swan do? The swan chooses to separate the milk from water. The most difficult task for human to even comprehend. But nature has taught us that we have the power to discriminate between what is right and what is wrong. Also the verse that choose good company. Binu satsang vivek na hoi, Ram kripa binu sulabh na soi, सतसंगत मध मंगल मूला सोई फल प्राप्त करे जो फूला. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. And I leave you with this hope and love, and most important, light the lamp of purity and let our lives always strive to reach the highest. Aspire at every point to inspire with your vibration, with your words, with example. Jai Shri Ram. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Meena ji, for that very transcendental experience with your discourse. Indeed, we can definitely learn from Ramcharitmanas the idea of true love, Guru Bhakti, Guru Seva, in the hope of attaining moksha, nirvana, mukti. We've come to the conclusion of today's program, Manas Marg, episode 3, with the topic being Prem or love with Meena Motilal ji. I would like to now introduce Mr. Sipiwe Mchunu from the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consul General of India in Durban to render this evening's vote of thanks. Sipiwe ji.
Namaskar. Good afternoon. On behalf of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India, I am honored today to deliver a vote of thanks on today's program, Manas Marg, Episode 3, with a theme, Love. I'd like to thank Sri Rajesh Lashmanji for introducing our online guest, Miss Meena Motilal ji. Ma'am, the topic of today was a very good topic. I have to confess to you that I really enjoyed it. Even though sometimes my Hindi is tora, but I was getting it there and there. So ma'am, thank you, Dhanyavad ji, for reminding us that love conquers all, irrespective of the situation that you are facing. But if all of us can just apply life on those situations, love will conquer that situation. So thank you, Motilal ji. Thank you, ma'am, Dhanyavad ji, for sharing the story of Sita and Rama. It is in my prayers that one day this story may be taught in all our schools, where our kids will fully understand what is the meaning of unconditional love. Because today's love is depending too much on material things. So this story, it will bring them back to understand what is the meaning of unconditional love. Whatever situation that you are facing, whether it's a good or bad situation, but if you apply love on top of that, love will prevail. Thank you very much, ma'am. Dhanyavad ji. Allow me to thank Director of ICC Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Sristi Harinarayan, Sri Piyush Kandelwal ji, for making sure that today's program is running smooth. To our online viewers, Danyavad for taking your time to be with us on today's program. Please visit Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center Facebook page so that you'll be updated in all our upcoming program. Once again, Minaji, Danyavad ji, may God bless you. Thank you very much. Namaskar.